What's up, guys? This is Snowy versus P2. They're both using alts, sadly, but P2 is the one with the P2 in his avatar. I know most of Snowy's team. It looks like he's changed it a bit since he showed it to me yesterday. He changed it a lot, actually, but yeah, I actually can't say much about this team anymore because he changed two pretty big Pokemon in the team. This actually looks a lot like what Flaming Victini used, I think, last week. And then Metagross, another good ult, has some strong bulky offense with a Ferrothorn, just bulking it up a bit more. So the Coco user, it's Rocky Helmet, so yeah, a lot of HP last there, and in comes Gnarly Bastard on the Stealth Rock. Zard could have posed a pretty big threat there, but I guess he really wants Knockoff is kind of weird with Helmet. Oh well. So yeah, Ferrothorn's lost his lefties, which is big for the Metagross being able to power through it more easily. Mimikyu comes in on the... Yeah, so that was pretty obvious that it had Wisp there. That was kind of weird. So yeah, you don't really see Wisp Mimikyu much, but that was... Oh, it's Wisp red card too. So yeah, this is sort of annoying to get Tentacruel in, but it's not exactly walled by Mimikyu, it's just spin blocked. And I don't... I've been seeing double hazard Ferrothorn more and more, but with Rocky Helmet knockoff, I don't think you really have room to run Spikes too, so... yeah, the hazard game is... Oh, wow, this is quite the set. So this Ferrothorn's going to take a lot of damage here, which could make Metagross very annoying, especially with the rocks up and the spin blocker. It's not Life Orb, so the Shadow Claw, it's probably still going to 2-hit KO, but he goes for another SD, and Leech Seed misses. That sucks. I guess he can revenge with... Well, he may have needed more damage to revenge... Okay, it should be in range of Weavile now, I hope. But Weavile's going to take a ton of damage, which kind of sucks because Greninja can... Okay, yeah, Ice Shard kills it, so that's fine, I guess, that he missed Leech Seed after all. But yeah, it's nice to keep this out of range of Water Shuriken, so that's why I was thinking the Leech Seed miss sucked if he had to take damage with Weavile, but he didn't. So the Helmet Ferrothorn comes in. I think this is out of range of Low Kick, and Low Kick isn't exactly a good slot when Tapu Fini is so common, so you're better off running Poison Jab or well, even Pursuit doesn't really make sense at the moment, but goes hard Charizard on the Whip. And this is a pretty big threat. P2 has a Lando that isn't a Stealth Rocker, so you have to assume it's Z move. It could be Scarf, of course, his team. Well, he has Pheromosa, so Scarf Lando might not even be the fastest thing on his team. I know P2 used Quiver Dance, Pheromosa, and Quiver Dance, Scarf, and Specs are all great sets, so he could be any of them. I'm just trying to deduce whether any of them make more sense. He has pretty bad checks to Z move Lando, so he could be plus speed Scarf to revenge heal that with Ice Beam at +2, so he's just going to sack the Pharaoh there, but Snowy goes for Roost on the Leech Seed. He would have died to Flare Blitz plus Rocky Helmet and Iron Barbs, definitely, so that's a smart play, just being willing to trade Ferrothorn for Zard there. Yeah, it's hard to... Snowy is pretty weak to Pheromosa. Okay, he switched... Okay, so Lando comes in. I guess it would have maybe taken 2 blitzes with the... Oh, wow, okay, that's... Oh, it's Gravity Lando. Is this Scarf HP? Yeah, well, Snowy set up both hazards with Ferrothorn, I think. So yeah, this is probably Scarf HP Ice, and P2 just goes for a kind of weird Gravity there. Granted, he's not exactly well prepared for Lando. Lando is what he would want to have in, but now his Lando is dead. So, P2 will switch here, because that's, no one runs fast HP Ice Lando if it's not Scarf, so he can just, get Pharaoh, Metagross, Greninja, anything in here that he wants to have in. Ferrothorn would be kind of passive, but Ferrothorn's also quite possibly the most annoying thing for Snowy to deal with. But like Metagross can come in and just start killing stuff. Like Snowy has no Zen or Mash switch in. But Metagross, like he has to P2 has to consider whether he can allow Metagross to get chipped and that kind of thing. If it's Bullet Punch Metagross, that kind of wins. So he's going to elect to sack his Lando instead, which like is fine. If this is Quiver Dance, Tentacruel's going to be able to check it probably, but if he's Z Hyper Beam Pheromosa, then he can Quiver Dance once here, then Quiver again on the Tentacruel and probably OHKO it, but then it might be in range of Weavile's Ice Shard, so Snowy's not exactly completely rooted there. If the Metagross comes in and goes for Rock Polish, that could sweep. If it's Ice Punch Jules, well, Ice Punch Earthquake Meteor Mash would be like the best coverage he could have for this matchup. It's hard to say whether Rock Polish is likely on this team. Like, I don't know what exactly would make Rock Polish more or less likely. P2's team is like quite Pharaoh weak, but I guess the Mimikyu is designed to lure that, and he has knockoff Ferrothorn, which is like, I mainly use knockoff Ferrothorn as a Ferrothorn countermeasure, so I guess he's not ridiculously weak to it, but like it can surely annoy a lot of stuff on his team. Although Greninja usually runs coverage for Ferrothorn now, so maybe I'm talking out of my arse. But Snowy has to switch here for sure. So what would you sack? I guess Weavile's still useful to revenge kill a non-Bullet Punch Metagross and to Ice Shard Pheromosa. I actually think he'll need to get that Ice Shard damage to beat it, but Tentacruel is also looking like a massive threat at the moment because it beats, like, you know, the Ferrothorn is taking Spikes damage and it doesn't have leftovers for recovery. So he sacks Space Ghost Pussy, and it is Agility Metagross. What a read by me. And he makes a good play there not Mega Evolving, because now, like, if Snowy wants to pivot into Lando on this Earthquake, P2's Metagross won't get intimidated because of Clear Body. So, like, I imagine an Earthquake would kill here, even if he doesn't Mega Evolve, and if it needs to, maybe Adamant Meteor Mash. Yeah, this is a great play, not Mega Evolving, if he's Earthquake Meteor Mash, which, like, you would be, I think. Actually, maybe he needs, like, Rock Polish usually runs, Dual Stab Earthquake. Dual Stab Ice Punch, I think, is the most common set. But you can easily run Adamant on this set, which might come into play here, because, like, if he has Earthquake, he kills those three things weak to Earthquake. Like, Weavile's dying to probably Earthquake too. I think it's a 41 after Rocks, and then Lando's going to die to this Mash. So, yeah, good insight there to not Mega Evolve, although he took, like, ages to think about it, so you'd expect him to make the right play. And yeah, he mustn't have Earthquake, so I guess he's thinking about whether to Mega Evolve so that this Zen Headbutt will kill. Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what the coverage is, but I'm pretty sure I've explained everything here. Like, you keep regular form so you can get an extra kill against Lando, but he does evolve here to fail to kill with Ice Punch, so I guess he was Ice Punch. What? He must have been, like, double punch Meteor Mash. What a strange set. The chat's going, like, I'm not looking at the chat, but I can see it out of the corner of my eye, just going wild. What the hell? What strange coverage, and, like, man, if he was a bit more patient with that, that could have, like, it didn't have Earthquake, granted, but oh, Ice Punch was such a strange play. Like, that looks like Adamant damage too, so what kind of coverage could he have? Because on Rock Polish you usually have Dual Stab, just to, like, hit things neutrally with some, you know, stab coverage, but Earthquake and Ice Punch are, like, the other things you would choose between, but yeah, like, Snowy was in so much trouble if that was Earthquake, Ice Punch, Mash. That would have been the worst set for him, I think. In comes Weave on the Greninja, so I guess that's a good matchup for Snowy. Actually, I said earlier that P2 didn't have Spikes, but this could be Spikes Greninja. I don't know whether I said he didn't have Spikes, period, but I said that his Ferrothorn wouldn't have it. I guess he has like a 100% accurate Hydro. It's actually Scarf Ninja, which I was like thinking about in the back of my head. He locks himself into HP Fire, which I can only assume... Well, like, anything can come in here and take this and kill the Ninja. Scarf Ninja, yeah, I think Snowy's got this. Yeah, he makes the right play, goes to Landorus. This just picks up a kill with Earthquake. Oh, unless it's Quiver Mosa, and it can get a +1. Okay, he sacks Ferrothorn. This should be a 2-hit KO with Earthquake. But yeah, Tentacruel wins now, I think. That crit doesn't matter at all. 2-hit KO'd. And, yeah, Ben Krang in the chat, Ben Gay is asking why he locked himself into HP Fire, because that gave Snowy the freedom to go to a big threat instead of having to go to Tentacruel. So that is arguably a misplay. Because, yeah, Pump would have forced the Tentacruel in to some degree. Which allows P2 to switch to Ferrothorn. So, yeah, the only way I can see Snowy losing is if the Pheromosa is Quiver Dance and +1 Z Hyper Beam is an Oko on Tentacruel, which I kind of doubt, but Pheromosa is quite... I've got the calc just professionally open here so we can ignore the chat for a moment. That should be very pleasant. So modest, we don't need to change the thing to Normalium, we can just do it here. Hyper Beam, Z Hyper Beam at +1, and we can put Tentacruel over here. Again, I don't know what the Tentacruel is, but Snowy likes to run, yeah, a spread with some speed. So that does kill after rocks. And that's not even max special attack Pheromosa. People run 32 just because they only need enough to get the +1 special attack from Beast Boost, and I know 32 in physical defense lets you live Adamant Scarf High Jump Kick from other Pheromosas, so it's kind of weird that that's in Spidef instead of physical defense, but I guess the Spidef helps you to take, like, Water Shurikens from Greninja or something. So yeah, he goes to Pheromosa, which makes sense. As I said, he's used Quiver Dance before, so I think you always... Actually, yeah, Snowy's in kind of a bad position here. Well, how much does Earthquake do? This is really interesting now, because, like, I'm fairly sure Quiver Dance is a massive threat here. Scarf. Earthquake can kill if he gets a very high roll. And, yeah, he gets the roll, which, yeah, that's sort of... Like, I love Snowy. He's one of my closest friends on Showdown, but it's kind of frustrating to see the game play out, like, in a RNG-dependent manner, because if he got off the +1 there, he wins. Yeah, there's no way he can lose. Whereas if Snowy switches hard into Tentacruel there, like, there's no way he's not max HP Tentacruel. Because, like, I'm thinking switching to Tentacruel makes more sense, because you can get a little bit of recovery back from Black Sludge, although it may not have been at full, in which case that makes total sense to not switch to it. So let me just check this, because I think it's actually at 94. Can this please just show up so I can finish my... The chat needs to stop. Okay. So the Tentacruel was at 94, so yeah, Snowy made the right play. That's really unfortunate for P2. If he was Quiver Dance, he would have won. I guess I'll ask him whether he was Quiver. I don't think Snowy is arse enough to run Adamant Scarf Lando, so he just got really lucky with that roll. So yeah, we can actually calc how likely it was for him to kill. Earthquake after those two hazards, yeah, it's a 3 in 8 chance, so not as unlikely as I thought, but still unfortunate for P2, because if that was Quiver Dance, Quiver Dance Hyper Beam, it definitely won, unless the Tentacruel was really specially defensive. And I know Snowy runs, like, Timid with 16 speed EVs to outspeed Bishop and Breloom and, like, Garchomp's creeping them, so... Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Kind of an unfortunate ending if it was Quiver Dance Pheromosa, but interesting battle nonetheless. I think as Ben said in the chat, I think the HP Fire play was kind of short-sighted, but, like, P2 ended up getting the best chance he could. Well, maybe he could have, like, set up on Tentacruel instead, or I don't really know. Yeah, I'm not sure. whether setting up on Tentacruel was more likely to win, because if he forced in the Tentacruel by locking his Greninja into Hydro Pump when he went for Hidden Power Fire on this turn, I think everything dies to that. Like, Coco might live, but it took 70 from Ice Beam, so it took 42, my mistake. So yeah, Coco could have come in, I suppose, but if he forced in Tentacruel, maybe he could just, like, sack his Greninja, and then Quiver Dance up, and then Hyper Beam and, like, sweep that way. Of course, that risks a Scald Burn or, like, getting Toxic, but I think that could have potentially won too. So yeah, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you next time. Hopefully I can do more SPL stuff this weekend. Goodbye.